A front country, it's actually a term that anglers use that they can basically pull off the side of the road and just like go cast a line. And so here we're just on 15 minutes away from Monarch here, and we're just so central to everything.
Welcome to the Radical Hospitality Show. I'm your host, Zeke Freeman. This is where we explore the most unique hotels and hospitality businesses around the world and the visionaries who build them. If you've ever looked at a raw piece of land and dreamed of building your own A-frame cabin, micro resort, guest ranch, but didn't know where to start, today's episode is for you. My guest today is Janice Stitzer, a real estate developer and investor and builder who's literally paving the way for the next generation of hospitality creators. After leaving a career as a financial analyst for the giants like Disney and Fox Studio, Janice jumped feet first into real estate, eventually launching her own construction and development company with her husband. She's the co-founder of Uncommon Developer, a platform that's dedicated to demystifying the often intimidating world of ground-up construction. From her stunning backcountry A-frame project to her upcoming micro resort in Salida and guest ranch in Buena Vista, she is providing that if you can dream it, you can build it. Now, hearing about Janice's philosophy on ground-up construction is one thing, but seeing it in action is something else entirely. We didn't want to just tell you about the Uncommon Developer. We wanted to show you. So I recently took this trip out to Buena Vista and Salida to meet up with Janice on site. She took me on a walkthrough of the properties to show us exactly what it takes to turn raw land into hospitality destinations. So let's take a closer look. Tell us a little bit about the projects, the design. How did you start with these guys?
We kind of it was inspired by Den, so to speak, and we were confined by the piece of this land, right? It's only 1 acre, and so we knew that if we set the intention that they're going to be standalone units, micro cabins, if you will, that people can just go, okay, I know what I'm getting into. It's much like, a hotel or motel, right? But at least you have a little bit of breathing room in between. We did envision the avatar, the person that would come here, what they're coming here for. It's more of a base camp, so to speak. Yeah. And so part of why we named this front country, which the A-frame was named back country, because that's back country. It's remote.
Like it.
But front country, it's actually a term that anglers use that they can basically pull off the side of the road and just like go cast a line. And so here we're just on 15 minutes away from Monarch here, and we're just so central to everything, hiking, biking, 14ers. Yeah. And so, you got
a little river running down.
Yeah, there is a river down that way.
Is there fish down here?
I don't know. It's actually, I don't know. It does come off of the Arkansas River, but it is a feeder to it. But I don't know that people are actually fishing that or even rafting it. Okay. So that's
they definitely go down to Arkansas, which is great.
Oh,
so
yes.
You're kind of adventure hub.
Yes.
101 here.
Exactly.
You got Arkansas. You can ski.
Yeah.
You can
bike,
Salida dinner.
Yes. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. So we did really want a little bit of an opportunity that people can, just gather together. They more than likely have similar just adventures that they could share and come back.
Are you getting groups that are coming?
So yeah, that's the other opportunity that kind of presented itself was, I guess the wedding event space is another big thing out here. People are getting married, and so we've had we have a wedding event venue about 10 minutes down the road, and they reached out and said, hey, we want to be able to send our groups to you. Yeah. So, that was something that I actually didn't foresee. There's the beach they just opened, and we had a bride contact us wanting to do a group block, and so
Yeah.
There's
The beach is what
it's called the beach. I think they renamed it. They rebranded it. It was actually existing, but now they weren't hosting weddings. Now they are.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No,
so,
this would be perfect. You came in with like a whole like wedding group. They could have each their own little space.
Yeah. Exactly.
Plus, you're not renting out. They can each rent their own room. Or
Yeah.
Their own cabin.
Exactly. So it is more of a. They can feel like this isn't an experience in and of itself if everybody is on one site. So with 7, it can happen, and it feels like, okay, we're renting like this little resort, and we're gonna go and knock on everybody's door.
Love it. All right, well then let's walk us through.
So yeah,
what
this
you got
one
with the
is one
design
of our signature cabins. Each one of our cabins here has the amenity of a stargazing net. So the stars are amazing here.
Yeah.
I came out here, I'm like, wow, I'm not a camper, so hence this is why this. I'm not even a glamper. I need a conditioned space. Yeah. So, but when I came up here and I was actually installing all the furniture and the finishes, I walked out here. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never seen this amount of stars before. And so I'm like, that's an amenity that I want to bring. And
super cool.
These are
the stargazing.
So these
nets?
are the stargazing nets here,
right.
And so each cabin has their own stargazing net.
Cool.
And these nets were actually manufactured by a yacht company.
Oh, really?
Yes. So they're not like your cheap rope. It's like these are the things that you find on boats.
Oh, fun. Can I check it out?
Yeah, you can check it out.
All right.
So it's like pretty comfortable.
It's pretty comfortable.
Yeah, and it'll stand the test of time and stand
Will
the
it
test
stand the jumping kids?
Well, they're not trampolines, but
oh, if I was 10 years old, I would turn it into one.
So yeah, we could come and take a look at this signature cabin. It has 2 sleeping areas, or bedrooms, if you will.
How many do you try to sleep?
So they're queens in both.
Okay. And then do you do a pull out or?
No, we don't do a pull out.
So
each of these units are 480 square feet.
Nice.
And I just thought a queen across all cabins would make it really efficient for turnovers as well.
Yeah.
And typically you go into a hotel room that's a double queen. But I liked the idea of, because everybody goes to bed at different times and wakes up at a different time. And if they just had their own space that they could, just late risers can sleep in and people can still have their coffee in that main living space. That was really nice. Why I wanted to do that, because I'm an early riser. Yeah. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. And so I get a lot done in those early mornings. I
like your kitchenette setup.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I guess, yeah, we could talk about the kitchenette too. So this is just enough for like heavy snacks. And we have like a microwave and we have plates up here and mugs. It's enough for you to get, even like bring a breakfast burrito and heat it up. Yeah. Because we have downtown Salida that's like 15 minutes away. So it's pretty easy to just hop in the car and go down and grab a bite.
Right. But if you want to cook your own meal, you can.
Yeah, you can warm it up.
You don't have to do a full kitchen.
You don't have to do a full kitchen. Yeah. So, that's the other. We have a little.
Oh, yeah, that's cute.
Yeah, it's actually an RV
setup. So you get your sink and a little chop block?
Yeah, and it just helps extend that counter space.
Yeah, awesome.
So, yeah.
Cool. And then what's around the...
So the bathroom is, every cabin has a bathroom. Bathroom and then another bedroom.
It is a double queen. I was misunderstanding.
So yes,
so you got queen in both.
We have a queen in
perfect.
both.
And you're not having to sit there next to the person.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
So this gives
exactly.
you, two couples can come
Right.
and stay.
Right.
Yeah, that's a great
Or
thing.
just a family, the kids can be in one and
Yeah.
the mom and dad
And
can be
the other.
another.
Love that.
And you don't have to, I don't know if you want this. Yeah.
And so this floor plan, did you guys customize this one?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
So the construction of this was SIPS design, a SIPS panel design.
Yeah.
So
Is it SIP panel constructed or no?
yes.
Okay. You finished it. Sometimes you start there at design
That's
and you don't
true.
end up. Yeah.
Good question. Yes, it's SIPS panel construction. And so 4 walls is
easy.
just the easiest thing to do. Because I guess, you know what, we were a little gun shy after the Kremling build, because we were like, gosh, I can see the challenges of building in these mountain towns and potentially having issues with labor. And so we're like, how can we cut out some of the trades?
Yeah.
That was going to be an avenue that we could do it.
And so if somebody hasn't done SIP panel construction, give a little 101.
So SIPS panels, it's panelized, and it's 2 OSB boards with the insulation in between. And so they basically come in big panels. And would you say that it's still stick construction? I still consider it stick construction.
You can use the same sub. So a framer is going to be perfectly comfortable throwing up a SIP panel. It's just faster,
It's extremely faster, yeah. So we were dried in 2 weeks. So dried in meaning we went vertical, had all 4 walls and the roof basically done. We could do that in 1 day. And then following after that, it's, getting all of just our tie back in and our roof done.
Yeah.
So
we did kind of the same thing. We did a house addition on our personal residence, and I brought my dad from Texas, and I was like, we're going to frame it up this weekend. And so we set all the beams and set the walls. But it was again kind of a nice all right, we need to get it up and enclosed quick. The things that we struggled with a little bit, and I'd love to hear how you guys addressed it, is so you've got 2 pieces of sheathing and you've got insulation. And so to get conduit up through it, you either have to pre-plan it or you have this iron looking thing that you cut it out. How did you guys deal with your lighting?
Yeah. So that is, I would
wall?
say that would be the biggest constraint with it is there's not as much flexibility. And so I personally wouldn't do it for custom homes, because I do change my mind with lighting and whatever else.
Right. The box walkthrough is not a thing. It's going to go where it's going to go.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was cool to be able to see a building go up in really hours.
Yeah.
It went up in hours. But the constraint of I would have liked to have a chandelier maybe coming down into this living space, but we couldn't really do it because it was too much of a challenge to have to bring and box in something.
So we ended up furring down our ceiling and then doing real low profile lights and then doing T&G. Are these wired right through?
Yes.
They are.
Yeah.
So you had to run those channels probably, as part of the
ours
manufacturing.
were already, they already came with chases.
Yeah. So you probably had to plan that out. And they had to put the chases in.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got to make those decisions before, and they got to be right.
Yeah. So, gosh, how did they do? I think the electrician had to come down into the chase. So the chases basically run horizontally, right? And they were about maybe 4 feet. I don't know what it was. So then they would have to come down. So it's sandwiched. They had to come down through the insulation and find that chase. So I don't know if the electrician liked me or not, but I like it. It's actually really energy efficient.
So just a little bit more pre-planning work, but once that planning's done, then it comes up pretty
Yeah.
pretty fast.
Yeah.
Cost-wise, do you feel like it was more or less same?
It was right in there, I would say. It, you know, again, we were more after the speed of getting to dry, you know, because once we can have walls in place, then all the interior rough-ins can start. And that was really important that we get it up because, gosh, we broke ground. We started moving dirt in October.
Okay.
And so we worked all through winter. And so again, like timing is
having it
huge.
dry so you can be in here
yes,
during winter.
Yeah, and plus this one we did have to do a construction loan, so we had to keep the ball moving because you know I'm paying interest payments, and so the fact that we could still push subs through here during winter was really important.
So what kind of big picture timing on this one? What did this take through planning and permitting roughly? And what did construction season take for you?
The planning and permitting was quite the process. I would say that it took us a good 12 months.
Okay.
Yeah, good 12 months because zoning was, to just hit all the zoning requirements was a lot of back and forth. There were a lot of surprises along the way that we didn't anticipate.
And it's more of a commercial project.
It's a commercial project.
So did you have to go through a site development plan?
Yes.
And
so that is a whole different ball of wax because construction codes are way different for commercial, and especially building on something on such a small 1 acre is somewhat it presents challenges, especially with like septic. So septic was, you know, one of the hurdles that we had to go through because of we already had a well. We bought the property with the well.
And is the site all serviced by that well?
Yes. Yeah. So once, you know, we didn't get to determine where the well was going to be. And so the setback from the well, we had to be over here in this area. And then the big gotcha was that this area of Salida is called Maysville. And Maysville is like a historic little town that used to be back in the 1800s. And so there's actually, what we found out during planning and zoning was that there's a frontage over here, what we call our back. And so now we have two front setbacks. Yes. And so we were basically just being squeezed. And so, yes, my recommendation is go maybe like 3 acres if you want to build like a multi-lodging situation. So yes, like a lot of back and forth because of the commercial zoning that we had to, the targets that we had to hit there.
Did you have the water rights for all of this, or did you have to go through water courts to get?
No, so that was probably one of the other things of why Chaffee County was a little bit more desirable for us to build, is because we didn't have to go through the water courts. They have, what are they calling it? Like an augmentation district, or they helped with augmentation.
Okay.
And so that we basically had to go through that special water district. I forget what it's called, but they already have shares. And so we just tell them, okay, we need an augmentation plan, and then we pay them a fee.
And so the county actually takes care of that augmentation
plan.
Yeah.
Because that's huge. You know, in other counties, you go to water court. It's a difficult process.
So the Lost Fork one, you know, it was separate. That was through Park County. Purchased the water rights, took that through an augmentation.
You had to do the augmentation plan.
Yeah, take that back through the state. So they're all different.
The water part is probably one of the biggest challenges here in Colorado because, I mean, it's a public resource, and you're effectively, what they are saying, that you're basically taking away resources from the general public. And so you have to buy into shares or whatever. I know enough to be dangerous, and I'm like, okay, if I don't have to deal with the Colorado,
very unique to Colorado. Like you go to Texas and other
no,
states,
they don't have this issue whatsoever. Right. So, so we had to actually build out a well house with a pump in order to service all 7 units efficiently, and because it only pumps 15 gallons a minute anyway.
So do you have a storage tank?
Yeah, we have a underground storage tank, a cistern, and then it's just like we have our own municipality up here.
Right.
Essentially. Yeah. And then, so then we had to go with a very special septic design.
And is that kind of the center?
Yes, that's in this center area. Okay. And so they had to engineer it very specifically because of the limited space that we had. Mm-hmm. So, like all of that then just pushes up the cost of our infrastructure, which, that's really, you juggle the number of doors to what your infrastructure is.
Kind of pushes up your base costs on it.
Yeah.
You want to take a gamble, like infrastructure costs, like roughly?
Oh, gosh. Well, I know the septic was 90, and I can't remember. We didn't have to pay for a well drilling, so that was nice.
Yeah. Or the augmentation.
But or the augmentation. So the augmentation wasn't all that bad. I would say it was like $6,000 to buy into it. Now we have to they do monitor us. So if we are using too much, then we have to reapply for a new plan, which we don't necessarily want to. But we had to make sure our calculations were pretty straight on. Yeah. Because we actually are doing laundry on site, and that was, I have to go through all these like different scenarios of what potentially we might be doing. And so, if we're doing laundry on site and we have 7 units, what does that look like? And so, you want to probably overcalculate that just so that you're not having to go through that process again.
Yeah, and meter and shut you off. So.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I would think that our infrastructure 150, but actually, what really was surprising was the dirt work.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Did y'all export or bring in a lot?
Both.
Yeah. And shuffle.
We took, I want to say like 80 truckloads of dirt out.
Wow.
Yes. And it's a lot of rock. And so, whenever our excavator gave us the proposal, of course that's like, a contingency of here's how much it would cost per truckload. And so that's the other thing that people really don't take into account is that the excavation portion of trucking out dirt and bringing it back, because I'm like, gosh, I really should get into excavating because I felt like what they were doing was taking my dirt, going over to their, sifting through and then bringing my dirt back.
Yeah, selling it back to you.
And selling it back to me. So I was like, man, there's
so
something there.
Was that for foundations mainly, or was that for leveling?
It was for leveling, yeah.
Get drainage.
I'm not a dirt person, but I was like, it was pretty level to begin with. But it was more probably just the foundation. They had to at least get to whatever they needed to do. But yes, that was where we didn't anticipate a little bit more of the project.
Yeah, because it's kind of on a contingency on how many loads.
Yeah.
And then they brought in, I see you got power out here. Did you end up doing like a transformer?
Yeah, so we had to take electric across the road. And so, that's the whole underground thing. And that actually didn't end up costing us anything. It just depends, it depends on what the power company foresees, because it's a monopoly, right?
Right.
Like,
is it Excel up here?
It was Excel, yeah. So, I mean, because commercial electric, however they calculate the pricing, they know they're going to make money off of us for the duration, for forever.
Right.
So it really depends. So, they didn't really have to bring power from very far. So it really wasn't that.
And that's definitely a wild card.
It is a wild card.
They're definitely not giving it to us for free at the hotel. So we're paying for underground drilling.
Yeah. Like our project in Buena Vista, 400 feet was like 24,000.
Okay.
So,
right.
I'm like, okay, I made out on this project, that project, not so much. Yeah. So you never know until you start that process of getting
so you
an
got your
engineer.
you got your site done, maybe 150 or something on that, and then what do you think on the units to build these out?
Oh gosh, so all in.
We can go there. Yeah.
All in,
that's easier.
It cost me for just the build and inclusive of infrastructure, 1.6.
Okay.
So
and that's divided out over, we got 1, 2,
7. Yeah.
7 units.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
So I know it's like I'm still like we're still spending money. I feel like.
When's it stop? And the
when
money starts
does it
coming this
stop?
way.
Yeah. So that's because I have to do my draw schedule, and I always just look at like the bottom line, like how much are we at now?
Yeah.
Like I think once we're like all said and done, then I'll really dial in on and break it out by horizontal costs and vertical costs. So that's because I don't know. Everybody asks that question, like, how much does it cost to build? But you can't really have a blanket answer for that because.
What do you mean by cost to build?
Exactly. So, cost to build vertically, you can say it's like 200, 300, 350 per square foot, right? But the infrastructure is going to push that up. And so, to be fair,
and your
it's
permits
like,
and your planning and all those things get layered. It means a lot of different things when people are asking what does it cost to build.
Yeah. So I don't like to answer it without saying, well, it depends because here's what we had to do to get this site ready to build.
And then what do you guys? What's kind of like roughly? I know ranges like ADR for the units.
So our target ADR is during this ramp up period is $325.
Okay.
So I think, and that's pretty reasonable. I think just because of it's a 4-season area, and so we can during our lower seasons, it's of course going to be a little lower, and during high season, it's going to be a lot higher. So we're going to land. Our target is about 325. Our appraisal for construction, they projected 311. So we've had early bookings at 360 so far, average. And so I'm like, I think that we'll land at that 325 and be pretty happy with that ramp up of this first year. So, because we really are starting just in January, like it kind of worked out that way.
Okay.
And so, going back to your question on, we broke ground in October, we got C of O in July, so relatively quick.
Yeah, for C of O.
For C of O, but then it's funny because the inspector came out and he's like, yeah, I'll give you C of O, but it took like another month and a half for the actual paper to come in.
Of course.
So, and then after, that was a great time to have a sigh of relief because from August-ish, September is really when we started that last, the FF&E. And just really trying to fine tune things and, get it to the point of, because we were doing it all ourselves, essentially. Once all the subs were out of here, there were still punch list items. That's the thing with C of O. Doesn't mean okay, we're going to open our doors and start hosting people. The punch list stuff does also, add on another couple of months until we were like really satisfied and like, okay, I think we're finaled and with our subs. And so it did take a good amount of, let's see, September, October, and into November was really, we spent a lot of time in here ourselves. We were touching things up. And so we were comfortable enough to start hosting people in December.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was also me controlling the situation too, controlling my calendar, because our daughter's 18. She actually graduated high school early, and she's a recruited athlete. And we had to move her into the dorms. And I'm like, I'm going to take a little bit of time. I don't want to just be having at the back of my mind hosting people and making sure everything's going smoothly, like operationally, spending the holidays with my family. And so that's really why we didn't push to get that, let's push for fall, because ideally I wanted to push for those fall leaf peeking people who are coming through. But I'm like, I just don't want to push and open and then have not great reviews and people coming through and not having a really good experience with us.
It's probably really wise. I think there's this, I know, like, we're aiming for a June 1st, like, target date. Okay?
Yeah,
and,
high season.
And I'm not telling my contractor any different. I hope he doesn't watch this. But mentally, I'm like, June 1st, we're opening. But it's like, I know there's there's like, you have some margin and buffer and things, because, I think the worst thing you do is open, and it's, you're getting crappy reviews.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of fighting against the operations of it.
Yeah. And there is a ramp up period with like just how you have like your bookings, your direct bookings, your tech stack, and making sure all of those automations are working seamlessly, because depending on what you're using, and if it's a new software that you're trying to integrate, there's still going to be a big learning curve with that software.
Yeah.
So
well, let's walk over to the other one where we can sit, and I'd like hear more about like operations.
Well, we could go to Unit 2 and then walk out to where Kelly is, because these guys don't have the wellness amenities. So eventually here we'll build out more of a communal area. There will be like a pergola, so that'll come in the spring.
Nice.
So wellness, of course, now is having a moment.
It is.
I think it's here to stay, though. So we have people who come off the mountain, and they're really into the cold plunge and the what do you call it when you're hot and cold?
Sauna.
Yeah.
The Nordic spa scene.
Yeah. So this is another. It's the same exact floor plan, but these have.
I love your colors.
Oh, thank you. So this one has a different color. I had a color person help me with it because I wanted a couple of the units to have this cave-like effect.
Yeah.
And I wanted people to also experience something that they don't normally have in a home. Like they would be afraid to do something this bold.
I like it.
Yeah.
When you first walk in, it seems black, but you start to see in here, it's like kind of a nice, rich brown. Some redness into it.
Yeah. And then the other one is a dark green, but so the guests basically walk out here.
Oh, sweet.
And this one has the wellness amenity of private sauna.
Love it.
And I call it a cool plunge here.
Okay.
Because we don't have a chiller, but the water is cold enough.
That's already. You're set to go up here.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're gonna
gotta be pretty brave.
If you need a chiller, you probably already have your own setup at home.
Love it.
Yeah, each one of these cabins 1 through 4 all have these private wellness amenities.
So what do these cost to put in, the saunas and hot and cold plunge?
The sauna in and of itself was about $3,500, and this was before tariffs.
Did you import them in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they all have to be hardwired, so there's always that added expense.
Yeah.
So.
Do they, and they run electrical? Mm-hmm. So it's probably a pretty big service to.
Yes, a dedicated service for each of these saunas.
And then the cold plunge looks like there's water coming into it. So
it's the drain.
That's
so
just the drain.
Yes, we have.
Do these things freeze up in the winter?
Well, they're empty. And so
Okay.
that was part of one of the things that I wanted to make sure is that everybody was able to do their own, like, water.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not
fresh
water. Yeah. So the hose
so you have
is
to
here.
You refill
Yeah.
it when they're here.
Yeah. Each person comes in and fills up their own water. And so.
I've never done one of these. So.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Okay.
But we can peek in at this other room. You can see the bold color in there.
Oh, that's funny. They made you put an emergency egress plan.
That was the other. We can talk all day about this. So here's the other room, green. Again, once you settle in here.
You had to settle for a minute and your eyes adjust to it.
Yeah, so what was interesting when we were going through the zoning process here was that they were like, wait a second, if this is a hotel use, you are going to have sprinklers. Like, what? But they're standalone units because here's the deal with hotels, right? I get it if we had shared walls.
Right.
And I get why you would want that to have automatic sprinklers. But so we had talked with the fire marshal and we're like, look, these are, these are 10 feet apart. Mm-hmm. The ones over units 5 through 7 are about 25 feet apart. Everything's firewalled essentially, right? And so how can you hold us to this code? And so it took a little bit of back and forth and they were like, okay, we understand what you're saying. So here's what we can settle at. Egress, doors from every bedroom. We're like, okay, it seems a little silly because this is only 480 square feet, but we'll do it.
Right.
And so that was the opportunity to be like, okay, well, if there's an egress door, let's build amenities around that.
Yeah.
So, but that was, talk about a roller coaster during the zoning process of where are we going to get the water for that?
Yeah, you have to store that too.
You have to store that, and it has to be dedicated just in case there was that need.
Yeah.
So, thankfully they were able to, be amicable there because that was like, gave me
I find the fire department has a little bit more like
reasonableness,
and look, they have some of their own ability to be able to say yes or no, and that's kind of like the code kind of gives them that ability.
Yeah.
And if you could make a good case to walk through, so there's kind of a lot of things are like black and white codes, and then there is
Let's use some.
There's fire department. You have the ability to talk through with some of them. Did they make you put a fire hydrant?
No. So we actually are only half a mile away from a fire district.
Okay.
They call it a fire district. So it's like, I think they have equipment there. And so they didn't make us bring a hydrant or have anything else. So because they have enough on their trucks so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, so with Lost Work, we didn't have to put in sprinklers. We had the same conversation. I had to write a letter and work through that. But they did make us do a hydrant, and it was kind of interesting because we have a river right there.
Yeah.
And so we're like, well,
can...
are we going to have to run a 6-inch tap, or can you just tap into the river?
Yeah.
And we did this. Basically, excavated a portion of the river, and we ran a pipe into it, and their pump comes in and it pumps from that pipe.
Oh, interesting.
And so it's like a stand, so we created a little pool that you can pull out from the river. because the 6-inch line running to a main is very expensive.
Yeah.
But we still did a standpipe system for it. So,
wow.
all sorts of.
I'm surprised they allowed you to like take from the river.
I was too. So we have a really good engineer.
Great.
And he had done this before. I was like, great. Yeah.
Because when are you actually going to take from,
right? Because again, getting back into water rights, it's like you can't utilize it for irrigation or for household use, but they will let you use it for fire sometimes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All those challenges that you gotta go. You never know. And we can peek in at the first unit, which has the full kitchen. So that's the only cabin that has the full kitchen. Oh, and we have a little mercantile we're gonna be. We're building it out. It's a mercantile.
Oh,
like a little snack shop, if you will.
Self-serve?
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty smart. And so I see you got little Ring cameras on. Do you
I don't monitor it really.
Remote let in people.
It's more it's almost like a third line of defense for people who, for some odd reason, might have an issue getting in.
Yeah.
So they all will have their own door codes, and then if there is some sort of problem that they can't get access through, whatever platform they're communicating with me or other admins, it's just so much easier for them to just ring that door, the Ring doorbell, and get
that
access.
go to
that goes, that'll go.
Admin?
That right now it goes to me.
Okay.
And then I could just say, hey, what's going on? Because I think self-service can be spotty for people.
Right.
So even though they might, so I've just thought of all the different scenarios.
Yeah, you don't want to be driving 2 hours up.
Right. Yeah. So if they have spotty cell service, then they can't get on the app of Airbnb to even get connected to the Wi-Fi. Then that would be like the last line of defense.
And Airbnb is making it a little bit more difficult too to exchange numbers. To be able to,
so really,
call.
the only form of communication is just through their messaging platform. So. Yeah, so I have the Ring doorbell, a physical code key here outside, and then obviously this guy, which I can also remote unlock to.
What lock system?
This is the Schlage in code.
Okay.
And then we also, safety was another thing that we were thinking about for our guests. So this deadbolt only locks, they can deadbolt themselves from the inside, because if people are concerned, it's on a code, even if for some odd reason there is a code, they lock this, then nobody else can come in, right?
Yeah.
Because I've heard other horror stories about that as well, someone, they're a double booking. I've heard of that crazy scenario.
Oh yeah.
So if this is just another security feature that a guest is going to feel like, okay, at least I could lock the deadbolt and nobody can, even if they had a code, they couldn't come in.
Yeah. We've had that once. I had we were working with a management company, and so we would have, and a friend of ours, we gave them our treehouse for their wedding anniversary.
Oh boy, yeah.
And we told the management company to block it off. They didn't block it off.
Oh no.
And so, no, not wedding anniversary, wedding evening.
Oh no!
So either way, they call me and they're like, Zeke, I think there's somebody in here. I'm like, oh my God. And so we ended up buying them a night hotel somewhere else. The nicest thing I could find at 8 o'clock.
Yes, it does happen. So that was one of the things that it was really, because I've been to places before and I'm like, I don't know if I feel like I have complete
safe. And a lot of people come from the city, not used to being up in the mountains. And,
that's the other thing. And they're just
you do get mountain lions and bears and you just walk through.
Yeah. So this unit has a full kitchen.
This is great.
and it sleeps 2, so it's ideal. So talking about the wedding buyouts, it's if there's a buyout situation, at least there's a full kitchen and people can host, and have access to.
Yeah, so if you have one person rents this, then you've got at least someone that can cook a little bit.
Yeah. So this is actually the same exact footprint, a 480 square feet, 24 by 20.
Okay.
So this same bathroom situation, but then it's 1 bedroom in here.
Okay. And then what did you do on the other side?
So the other side is where our laundry operations is. And so this, we were able to put in a little workstation here.
And then you just keep this for
so our
laundry.
Cleaner has access from that door.
Nice.
And so this is our whole entire laundry operations, and there won't be overlap when there's cleaning because people check out by 10.
Yeah.
And so the cleaner will just access from the outside.
Now,
so
what if you had someone staying 2 nights? They'd still be here.
Yeah, but so then the cleaner wouldn't be running laundry in there. We have inventory of linens that we can pull from. So then it's just managing and communicating. There's somebody in there, and just put off the laundry until they check out.
That's one thing, again, with the tree house, we're taking over management on it. The laundry is a big thing.
It's huge. I've racked my brain about that, and I still continue to do it. Because an inventory of linens is going to be the biggest thing.
It takes a lot of linens.
Yeah.
Are you using the storage
for linens? This is basically it.
Okay.
This is basically it.
So
I do have extras, I do have extra comforters in there, and anything back stock of toilet paper and all of that will be in there.
Yeah. And have you always managed your own, or have you worked with a management company?
I have not worked with a management company. I don't know where I land with that, because I want to be hands-on just to at least know what to have enough forward thinking around it. And that's my hang up, is it is a little bit of micromanagement there. But again, it just falls back to the level of expectation that I think that our guests, I want to have for our guests. And so, anticipating their needs is one of those things that I think a management company can't quite grasp unless they're really local, and for them, they have to be hands-on and get a feel of what we're doing. And I'm effectively establishing that. I feel like I need to.
And moving from one short-term rental, which is probably kind of part-time-ish, to a micro resort. I mean, this is a full operation at this point.
Well, I've had multiple short-term rentals, and so that was interesting to experience, because I've had a short-term rental where it was a vertically integrated company, which they had multiple services, including property management, laundry service, and cleaning, and handyman. So that was nice. I did opt into their laundry program, but I wasn't happy with their linens. I didn't have a choice, because I was happy with their cleaning services, and that was what was part of their package. Was
and you
in order
choose your
for
own
us
linens in their program.
No, it was just whatever they had. So I just didn't, and I get it, because in that market it was Grand Lake. We had back-to-backs all the time. And so for them to be efficient and to be able to travel from one short-term rental to another for their turnovers, it had to be just within an hour and a half that they're in and out of there. So, they didn't have the luxury of, we'll stick in, because I had laundry on site, a facility or stackable unit there, but they can't sit there and wait for laundry to be done. And so, that gave me a little bit of insight as to, okay, how do I want to run this? And so, in terms of going from, a couple units to multiple units, yes, there's definitely different considerations with it, but on some level it is actually easier because everything is on one site. And so it's easier to get people to come here, to agree to come here. Like handyman, I can say, I want to have you once a month, and here's what needs to be done. And it's easier to find someone who's open to, like, oh, okay, it's not a one-off thing. It's going to be an ongoing need.
Yeah. And they're, from their operations, they're not having to go all over. And they can charge you for the multiples and make more in a day.
Exactly.
What systems do you use for management and keeping up with?
Right now, everything is through HostAway.
Okay.
And so, the other thing was thinking about, like, the calendar. Do I want my calendar to look like just Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, checkouts and check-ins? Because I could tell a cleaner, and right now that's not implemented, but it's a thought that has crossed my mind, because then I can bring some consistency with that to my cleaner.
Yep.
And then, it helps me hit my targets of 2-night stays. But I think that's longer term at stabilization, where I can,
So with how would you achieve a Monday, Wednesday, Friday?
Well, it does fall into, your guests will typically check in on a Friday and check out on a Sunday. And so the Sunday would be more, okay, if maybe my cleaner wants her Sundays off, right? She can determine, okay, maybe I'll just go in on Sunday and get it done, but she has until Monday for the next person to potentially check in. And then if it's a Monday check-in, 2-night stay, they'll check out on Wednesday. So Monday, Tuesday is right.
So is there a setting that you can set for your bookings that limit that?
Yes.
Is it different than just a 1 day, 2 day? Like you can do like minimum number of days.
You could, there's options where you can choose and say no check-ins on Fridays, or no check-in, I guess no check-in on Thursdays, and no check-in on Saturdays. Like Saturday would be the biggest one, right? Because if someone checks in on a Saturday, then that just
they kind of blow your weekend.
Screws your weekend. So that is more of something that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So because they could check in on Thursday, but we want them to stay through Sunday.
Yeah.
But during this ramp-up period, we don't have any of those restrictions in place. It's pretty manageable at the moment.
And is it mostly you doing the management, or do you have a team that's helping support any of it?
It's all me right now.
Go Janice.
Again, I feel like I have to really have boots on the ground to understand the operations before I can hand it off to somebody.
And do you plan to
remotely
do that?
Yes, I do. I do envision having some sort of like VA.
Yeah.
Once everything is established, because at that point, if I have a maintenance person coming every month and just, they're just on this schedule of, we're going to change out. Quarterly, we're going to change out the batteries for the locks, and quarterly we're going to check in on these things, and then I might have work orders for him that are random one-off things, and there's going to be touch-up paint like people are very rough on these sorts of units. Like, it's okay. That's just how it is. It's hospitality. And so there's always going to be touch-up paint. So once a month, you're coming on site and you maybe choose one specific unit that you're going to focus on, and you'll touch up paint there.
Yeah.
And just fine-tune that unit.
So what do you do if you want a vacation at this point?
Well,
Can your cleaner hand off and do the calls and that kind of thing?
Well, the automations play a big role of really communicating with the guest.
Yeah.
For the most part, it is pretty hands-off. I think a lot of guests who are familiar with the self-check-in scenario, they understand it. They're like, they actually want that, and they anticipate it. So it's just a matter of, checking in on the calendar and seeing, okay, who's checking in, who's checking out, communicating with the cleaner and confirming this. And so we are.
For the most part, you can take, so now you take that with you? Like if you take 2 weeks, you just remote manage it?
I still have to remote manage it, yes. Okay. Yeah.
I'm asking because Amy, we went from having a third-party management to she's taken on and she's managing the treehouse. Now we're looking at taking on some others in the area. I'm like, this is great, but we're still going on vacation.
Yeah. As long as you have people who are your support, right? Like your cleaner and a handyman that's local. And if you get that random message like, hey, there's something going on here, that's the extension of you. You call that person and they say, hey, can you go check this out? Yeah. So, everything else can be remote. Mm-hmm. But there's still going to be, the other night I'm checking. So I have access to every thermostat and so backups to the backups, right? And so at the A-frame, we had a guest who checked in, all went well, but then I don't know what, because we were going through that cold spell, it was going to be, the temperatures were going to dip. And so I looked at the thermostat, and for some weird reason, I knew she had left, because I was like, okay, it is odd that here's how I knew. I got an email from my thermostat app, saying your heat has been running, but the temperature has been going down by 3 degrees. I'm like, oh my gosh, is the heat out, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, did she freeze it up by pumping it up too high?
Exactly. Well, that's normally I do not look at the Ring app at all. I don't know what goes on typically, but I had to go look through and see if she was still there. Did she check out early? What's going on? I was like, okay, the night before she came in at 2:00 in the morning, and now she's not there. It's 10 o'clock at night. She's not there. I'm like, okay, maybe she's out for the night, but something is going on with this heat. And so I'm like up until 2 in the morning. And cause I'm like, I'm able to crank up the heat a little bit. I'm like, let me crank this up. I'm like, okay, it's sustaining, but it dropped by 1 degree. I'm like, shoot, what is happening?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know, should I drive 2.5 hours to Kremling? Am I waking Kelly up? Should he drive 2.5 hours?
That's probably.
So I'm just like monitoring this thing. I'm like, should I message her? Did she check out early? Because she's supposed to stay here tonight. And if I can't even call the guest to like check in with them, because she might have like checked out and not told me.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, she came back at 2:00. Maybe like, shoot, I'm going to monitor the heat, and I'm going to see if she comes back. She comes back at 1:30 in the morning. Okay. And then I'm like, okay, because all these scenarios are going through my mind. I'm like, okay, here's what I think. Because it's actually in-floor heat there. And I think that she opened the windows upstairs. And so all this cold air is just rushing through and the heat's trying to keep up.
Yeah.
And so lo and behold, she comes back, cranks up the heat to 79 degrees, and I'm like cranking it back down. I'm like, okay. I'm like, where's the setting where I can cap this heat, right? And so now she's back, cranks up the heat, and I'm monitoring the heat for an hour, because with those in-floor heat systems, it's not like right away.
Yeah.
It takes like an hour and it inches up by 1 degree. So I'm like, that's exactly what she did. She got warm and, you know, I don't know, didn't like, I'm gonna open windows. And she left the window wide open and it was 2 degrees outside.
Oh yeah.
So
we've got these mini splits, and they will freeze up. And people like to come in a unit like this, and they'll crank them up to 90 degrees.
They think that that's like, going to heat it up quicker.
It's like it heats up the same, whether it's 72 or 90, the same, you know, timeline.
Yeah.
It just keeps going, you know, and you will burn up a unit. And so we've replaced an $8,000 unit because it got burned out.
But there's a setting where you can cap that.
Yeah,
I think
it's called Amy, like monitoring. And
so I don't know if you can
100%
get away from it, because you know, even if you had a member of your team, are they actually going, like it does take a level of intuitiveness, right? Like if you get a notice like that, understanding and why would something be happening? Is the heat going on?
Yeah.
Or something's wrong with the heat.
And it's a very sensitive issue with a client or, you know, or guest, you know, if they're not comfortable and they don't have the ability to grab hold of that, you know, then, you know, that's an area where you can really like lose real quick in the Airbnb game.
So with these units, we have actually these PTAC units, which these are typically, you see them bigger units in motel rooms.
Yep.
And we have them connected to thermostats that are on the wall. They're not controlled on this on this unit. And then we also
Why did you go with PTACs versus mini splits?
Because the interesting thing about being in a mountain town is that you don't need air conditioning. And so we were like, okay, where can we settle? We were thinking of in-floor heat here, which I think I probably would have, looking back, I would have done that. But we're like, okay, those mini splits at high elevations, I don't know, we were getting feedback that we would have to go with a very special unit in order for it to work.
Yeah.
So we just didn't really see a huge need for air conditioning, but we still wanted to have that as an option because we do warm up. The nights cool off really nicely, but people are creatures of comfort, and some will definitely need a cool off.
Yeah.
So we decided to just go with these units because I guess the expense of going for the high altitude mini splits, just we're like, I don't think we need that level of a conditioned unit.
Cool.
People do like the ease of having something on site. I was like, just a little bit of something that they can just grab.
Yeah.
So this isn't finished out yet. We're still working on it.
How are you gonna monitor the payment system?
Just on a little square payment thing. The iPad will go here, and then we'll sell the firewood. They can grab one of these guys and fill it up. It's more of a convenience.
Yeah.
Option.
Than a moneymaker.
But
that's super nice. I mean, what a great amenity.
Eventually we'll have branded T-shirts. Not eventually, but I need to work on that. Mugs, T-shirts, and all of that.
Yeah, and if you come here, you know, and you forgot a few things.
Exactly.
You know, a couple
those
of those
sorts
maybe
of things.
toothbrush and
a couple
of amenities would be super nice to have.
Yeah.
No, love it.
Yeah, so I thought it was a good little option to at least have. So.
And is this building?
So this is actually a tough shed.
I was going to say, but you're not using all of it for that.
No, the back part here is our. It's basically our well house.
Oh, perfect.
So
you're doubling your well house for a merch shop. Love it.
Yeah.
And a little extra storage.
Storage, yeah. So.
All the things, man.
All the things.
I want to hit stop on this.
Okay. All right, so we're at Janice's next project. They're starting to do some planning and layout. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what your next project is here?
Sure. Our next project here is basically based in agritourism, and so there's going to be a lodging component alongside with hosting smaller events, and there's a deep interest in homesteading and just agriculture in general, and this is going to be more of a legacy project. A little tidbit of information is that this is actually on an opportunity zone piece of property.
Okay.
And so, so it's going to be a long-term play for us because we did purchase it through our opportunity.
So what does the
fund.
opportunity zone give and benefit for doing new development?
Sure. So opportunity zone, you develop the property and you hold it for 10 years. The funds that are put forth for acquisition and development essentially are tax deferred. You do the project, any appreciation after 10 years is going to be tax free.
Okay.
So if it cost me $1.5 million to build it, and then in 10 years it's worth $5 million.
And do you need something to roll in that you're deferring in?
Yeah.
So like a typical play might be...
It's typically capital gains are going to be put into the fund, and then those capital gains then are invested into this project. So then anything that, the equity or the appreciation actually is going to be tax-free at the end of 10 years. It goes deeper than that, but that's really kind of the gist of it.
A little bit different, similar, but not quite the same as like a 1031 exchange.
Right. So the 1031 exchange, you do eventually have to pay taxes if you sell off the property. 1031, you just keep on kicking the can down the road, and you're exchanging constantly. With this, after the 10 years, we just have a tax-free appreciation.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah. So the vision here is we will build a lodging unit, and then we will have another more of like a bigger lodge that is a single family home.
Okay.
So yeah, this is it. It's on 40 acres, and we have the views of the Collegiate Peak in front of us.
It's amazing.
And we see that people are really loving that aspect of agriculture, and a small event venue is where we see this particular project heading.
So with agriculture, do you see having livestock?
Oh yeah,
pet
so
animals,
we have horses of our own. We have chickens back where we live. And with this, we are actually a ranching community here. And again, if you are into homesteading or agriculture, regenerative ranching and farming is a very big thing. 40 acres is nothing in the ranching world. And the regenerative farming takes it to a different type of, raising of cattle. And you're densely populating and then moving them.
Okay.
And so that helps regenerate the land. So you can see here it's very much prairie. But so if you are, and this is an unknown for us. And so we're very much interested in regenerative land. And so we're going to be bringing on some cattle and raising our own meat.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad, he's on about 40 acres down in Texas, and they started bringing on cattle this last year.
Yeah.
And he's learning all the operations, and he'll have first year of meat coming through. So I think people
want to know where their
food comes from.
Right? Yes, it's really important now.
Yeah.
So, yes, there's going to be an aspect of a big learning curve for us, but actually my husband comes from that background in Pennsylvania, and so it does help to have a little bit of that know-how, because it is a lot of work, but to know where your food comes from is really important to folks nowadays.
Yeah. And you guys are hunters as well, right?
My husband, not me, but my husband's a big hunter, yes. And so actually what's interesting is that all of our neighbors here, they are on 40 acres, but they're I believe, in a conservation district. So they opted into that, which means nobody can develop any of this around us. And there is like a big elk herd migration that comes through here. So that's going to be really
We
cool.
saw them coming up this morning.
Oh, you did? It's cool.
Yeah.
So,
special.
Imagine waking up and then you can see just like elk out your window. I think that's a cool experience.
Do you think you guys will be up here personally?
Yeah, we're going to be
More
up
on
here.
this one?
It'll be, part-time.
Yeah.
So, with our project in Salida being about 30 minutes away, we see ourselves
that'll be
here.
easier to be up here and kind of manage that a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. I mean, what a neat project. It's been fun how you're moving from one to the next.
I know. It's kind of exciting, because that's why we're here meeting with our builder who's going to be building this barn. And I'm like, it seems like it's quick for some weird reason, but because Salida took a long time to get off the ground. So.
Well, nothing like starting a new project.
Yeah.
I appreciate you taking the time and walking us through your other one and letting us see this one come. And I look forward to seeing it come to life.
Thanks for coming out.
Appreciate your time, getting to know you a little bit today.
Yeah.